guys, today we're going to actually discuss Donald Trump. Someone tried it again. Someone has tried to attempt in deleting Donald Trump. And we're actually going to start with the sheriff giving a press conference on the attempt of former president and current candidate to be president again, Donald Trump. This is the press conference that was held this weekend when a man by the name of Vim Miller attempted to delete or tried to allegedly make attempt in deleting President Donald Trump. What we're about to watch is a sheriff by the name of Chad Bianco discussing how and when and what going on moving forward with the suspect that was arrested in South California at the Coachella rally for Donald Trump. And we're going to start at, let's see here. Listen. What you got?
His name. The name that we have, and I'm going to put an asterisk by it as I explain this later, but we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had a...
Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM, and what we're watching, we were watching an actual press conference that was held in the third attempt of the former president, Donald Trump. Yes, he was attempted for the third time. I don't know why does this continue to go on, and there's nothing being done in my personal opinion. Why? Because this particular gentleman, this is Vim Miller. Yes, his name is Vim Miller. He is 49 years old, from Las Vegas, Nevada. He was the one that allegedly, supposedly attempted in Mr. Donald Trump for the third attempt of a JFK moment this weekend at the Coachella rally in South Carolina. Now I'm going to go back and actually play this Sheriff Chad Bianco. I shouts out to his department for actually apprehending this gentleman. I'm going to play it again, play that part, because they did a phenomenal job, ladies and gentlemen. Going to play this part again.
Outside perimeter are, I will give you his name. The name that we have, and I'm going to put an asterisk by it as I explain this later, but we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate.
Okay, hello, you guys. Before I continue, as far as continuing this conversation, I must give a disclaimer. This is fair use copyright YouTube, fair use copyright under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use YouTube. So today, like I stated, today we are going to discuss, and hello, I am POLITIC GRAM. Today we're going to discuss the topic, yes, Donald Trump was attempted again. And who attempted? Supposedly, this man by the name of V.E.M. Miller, 49 years old, from Las Vegas, Nevada. According to the authorities, he was arrested in California this weekend. He had a number of loaded artillery, I can't get into much detail. This gentleman, however, he was released. Can you believe this, guys? He was released the same day on a $5,000 bond. Hello, Stacy. How are you doing this great morning? And yes, if you can hit that like button. Please hit that like button. I'm talking about Donald Trump being attempted for the third time. I don't know what is it going to take, because this particular gentleman, according to reports, he did state, and I quote, he said, "This is BS." Those were his words. V.M. Miller, he said he would never harm anybody. Those was his words. And this was right after he was able to bond out on $5,000. I repeat, after attempting to delete Donald Trump and getting into the rally, he had, and I quote, based off of what this sheriff stated, they actually stopped him at the checkpoint, and at the checkpoint he had artillery in his vehicle. He had a number of various passports with different names on it, fake passports, allegedly. That's what was said in this press conference. Also, he was driving an unregistered SUV with no official license. He was stopped. When he was stopped, he stated to the police that he was a journalist and still had unknown proper credentials. This is what was said. Hello, big man. Hello, John. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Yes, I'm stating what happened this weekend. Donald Trump was attempted for the third time. I repeat, for the third time. And this is very, very, very just interesting, because in this third attempt, what happened? He was released, ladies and gentlemen. They gave him a $5,000 bond. I repeat, they gave this particular man, I'm going to show him to you, this particular man, V.E.M. Miller. They gave him a $5,000 bond. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. And I want to make sure, I want people to actually think about that. This particular man made it through the first checkpoint, but they were able to stop him when he made it to the second checkpoint. He actually tried to get in and say that John says there was no attempt on his life. This man just had in his truck. He said he was a Trump supporter. He got the standard bond for the charges. Okay, this is my question then. Okay, why was he driving with a number of passports? This is what was stated in the press conference, John. Now don't get mad at me. This is what Sheriff Bianco said in the press conference. This is what he stated that deputies saw in Vim Miller's car. Now, I don't know. Look, I don't know. All I can say, they gave him a $5,000 bond for him to bail out. But it's kind of odd that he goes to an event. Hello, Jim. Hello, Jim. Good morning. Good morning, Jim. Jim says, good morning, Politic. Sounds like he wanted to get arrested, unregistered vehicle, fake credentials. Exactly. John, what are we talking about, John? Just like Jim said. Hello, you guys. It's POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. And yes, I'm talking about the third attempt. This is ridiculous. John says, I don't know about the passports. But it's not like they wouldn't be able to identify him. But he seems like a big 2A guy. Lots of guys carry in their car. Yes, you're absolutely right, John. I will grant you that. However, what was stated in the press conference by Sheriff Chad Bianco, the sheriff of Riverside County, he stated, and I quote, there was, just like Jim stated himself in this chat, that the vehicle was unregistered, fake credentials in the sense that he had a number of fake passports, several fake passports. Why did he have these fake passports? Why was he driving a black SUV with no official license? These are things we have to ask. These are things that we really have to ask, because this is the gentleman, Vim Miller. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button. And yes, we're having a nice conversation about the third attempt of the president. John says, what does that have to do with Trump? With the, I can't say the S word. I can't say the S word, John. That's all I'm saying. John says, that's all I'm saying. Okay, you know why it has a lot to do with this, John? Because too many people are getting too close to Trump. Too many people are getting too close to Trump. And then to top it all off, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they have topics. I'm going to play a clip that Joe Biden's had. It was the week before the Hurricane Milton. I'm going to play. This is why this should never happen. It should never happen. And it goes to the topic when I said sometimes these politicians, Kamala Harris and even Donald Trump, they can sabotage themselves with what they say. Even at a press conference, during the rallies, they can sometimes sabotage themselves. Now, in my personal opinion, based off what I'm looking at, now you guys in the chat, you can call me out if you want to, but I think based off of how Joe Biden administration, as well as Kamala Harris, the things that they have recently said about Donald Trump, they have not helped the matter. They have not helped the matter in the sense of protecting Donald Trump, because nobody should ever get attempted like this. John says, may President Trump stay safe. Exactly. This is unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. And I was trying to actually play where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris 2 different times have said Donald Trump is dangerous. They're going to press conferences saying phrases, saying the word of dangerous. Why speak on things and notations such as that? And this is not the time for it. This is not the time. Why? Because look what has happened recently. Donald Trump has been attempted for the 3rd time. This is a man's life. I mean, this should not be nothing to gamble with. Jim says, I'm all for Trump, but this has Republican fingerprints. Whoa. Woo. Jim. Woo. You said this has Republican fingerprints all over it. Whoa. Woo. I felt it, you guys. I'm sorry. I felt that when you said that, Jim. What? Let me pin that. Whoa. That was a hit right there. That was a hit. I'm all for Trump, but this has Republican fingerprints all over it. So does anybody have that same opinion that this third attempt on Donald Trump that was by this man that you're looking at in the screen? His name is Vim Miller. Does anybody feel that this has Republican fingerprints all over? Now, me personally, I think that the words of these press conferences that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris they have been saying has not helped. That is my personal opinion on it, and I'm going to show you why I say that. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. I was going to actually show you guys where there were actually press conferences. Now, this is one press conference just came out of Joe Biden's mouth recently.
I don't know whether it will be peaceful. The things that Trump has said and the things that he said last time out when he didn't like the outcome of the election were very dangerous. If you noticed, I noticed that the vice presidential Republican candidate did not say he'd accept the outcome of the election. They haven't even accepted the outcome of the last election. So I'm concerned about what they're going to do. I don't know whether it will be peaceful.
Now, see, you don't say things like that. Now, John says, I do agree that calling Trump a threat of democracy is extremely problematic. Exactly. John says also comparing him to, yes, I can't say the H word. Look, I'm trying to be careful, you guys. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. Hit that like button. And yes, we're having a great conversation about the third attempt on the former president Donald Trump this weekend at the Coachella rally in South California, Riverside County. Yes. And congratulations. I have to give much applause to the Riverside County Sheriff Department. This is Sheriff brain freeze. This is Sheriff, I apologize, Chad Bianco. He actually gave a press conference this weekend stating how they actually stopped Vim Miller from coming in. Because I'm going to be honest, John, I have to be fair, you guys. I mean, why would you come to an actual rally with an unregistered black SUV, black at that SUV, with a number of artillery on you in the vehicle, and then even had one ammunition with the serial numbers scratched off? Like, let's look at all of that. Then to top it all off, he actually had a number of several passports with different names. Then he said he was going, when he went into the second part of the checkpoint, he said he was going in, trying to go in through the VIP section because he was supposedly a journalist. This is what he stated. This is what he stated to in the checkpoint. Now, John said, especially with fake plate, and exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is, I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, I have nothing against Trump supporters. I don't even have anything against the Harris and Biden, supporters. I really don't. But sometimes it goes back to, like I stated earlier, sometimes we can sabotage ourselves. And, Jim, you said it best. You think, this has Republicans' fingerprints all over it. Okay? Now, I personally think also, I think it could be anybody, because Jim, you pointed out a great point. It could have been the Republicans on the, fingerprints on this. Then we also, I could say, sabotage Vim Miller sabotaged himself, because why would you attend anywhere with basically you're driving a black SUV at a highly secure rally that is supporting Donald Trump, who has before now who had been attempted twice, ladies and gentlemen. So why would you come to this man's rally with all this ammunition? And then to top it off, you're carrying you actually have in your vehicle weapons that have the serial number scratched off. Then you have a fake license plate. Then you have passports with several passports on you with fake names. Why would you attend an event like that? And then you have the audacity to try to go through the VIP checkpoint area. I mean, sometimes you can sabotage yourself. And this particular gentleman, he's getting a lot of I mean, headache. I'll say it that way, because he was given a bond of $5,000. So he's released. He's actually released. And according to reports, I'm going to stroll on down. Let me stroll on down. According to reports, let me go back up. According to reports, there we go. He will appear in court January the 2nd of next year. I will repeat, he will appear in court January the 2nd of next year, 2025. So I just want people to kind of think about that. Me personally, I don't know. I mean, everybody has, just like John had stated, Vam Miller did state, and I quote, he said he would not harm anybody. That's what he said. He said he would not harm anybody, and that these accusations are BS. That is what Vam Miller said according to reports. So I'm trying to give him some leeway, but I mean, we also got to take into play that he came kind of messy. He came to a rally looking real saucy and spicy. Looking real saucy and spicy, you guys. So with the sheriff, Chad Bianco, he did his part. I mean, with him, there's only so much he can do. He did his part in the fact that they did arrest him. They were able to stop him just before he even made. And I also want to state this: they arrested Van Miller before Donald Trump was even at the rally. So I do want to mention that. So I want to just give much applause, because finally we have a local government, we have a police team that is doing their job. Okay, because I can't say that for the last two attempts that happened. Okay, I cannot say that for the last two attempts prior to this with Donald Trump. I don't know what to say about the Secret Service. I don't even know what to say about the other local governments, the local chapters, okay, in protecting Donald Trump. I mean, people can have differences with Donald Trump. People can, but it doesn't have to get to this point where you take your anger out on another level. This has to stop. Now, with the second attempts, I want to make sure, hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. When you come in, can you please hit that like button? We're talking about Donald Trump's attempts, the number of attempts that he has been attempted. Some people have tried to delete him. So he was attempted for the third time by a man named Vam Miller. This gentleman right here. He is 49 years old, a resident of Nevada, Las Vegas. And yes, he has been released on a $5,000 bond. Now, I don't know. Look, I don't know. Some people are kind of upset, kind of worried, like, why would they give him a bond? But John, you said it best. You said, the man, Vim, he did say that he would never harm anybody. And, people carry ammunition, but like I stated, he did not follow the proper protocol. He was driving a black SUV with an unregistered license. He had several fake passports on him. And to top it all off, let's not forget He had one of the weapons had a serial number scratched off. So we have to kind of look at all these things, you guys. We have to actually kind of think about all of this. I mean, if you're coming to support Trump, you're coming to his rally to be part of the team. Don't sabotage yourself. Put yourself in a situation like Van Miller put himself in. And last but not least, this goes out to all the people out there that's listening on this live. If you go to a Trump rally, we have a few more days, okay? Less than 30 days. Election here in America is November the 5th. November the 5th of 2024 this year. If you go, I'm going to say this, okay? If you agree, please hit that like button when I say this. If you go to any Trump rally, okay? If you go to any Kamala Harris rally, please act accordingly. You do not have to carry and ride, as they say, spicy, saucy, and dirty with numbers of ammunition on you. You don't. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be here to support whoever you're supporting, be it Donald Trump rally, be it Kamala Harris rally. Just act accordingly. And even when you go vote November the 5th, go and vote and go home. Vote, go home. That's it. So I mean, I'm just gonna leave it on that level. Now, with the second attempt prior to Van Miller, we're gonna go to Ryan Wesley, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley. He was arrested September the 15th. And excuse me for my typo. He was arrested September the 15th in attempting to delete Donald Trump at Donald Trump's own golf club. What is going on here? What is going on here? Now, I'm going to show a clip of and this is fair use, YouTube, fair use. This is when they arrested Ryan Wesley at not that far from Donald Trump's golf club and at Palm Beach, Florida. Now, they handled it very well with Ryan Wesley. And I say that because Ryan Wesley is still detained. And this is October the 14th. Ryan Wesley is still detained. And he needs to stay detained. Okay? Stay detained. Considering what all they found on him. Now, with Ryan Wesley, they have a number, like that wasn't the first time he was around the Trump golf club. That wasn't the first time. September the 15th was not the first time he was around Donald Trump's Palm Beach golf club. Now, the reason I'm mentioning Ryan Wesley, because guess what happened with him, ladies and gentlemen? Right after they arrested him September the 15th, guess who else they arrested pertaining to him? His son. Yes, look at this deranged look. This is his son. His name is Ryan Routh. This is his son. They arrested 35-year-old Ryan Routh September the 21st for child P images in North Carolina. Do you hear me? Jim says, at John, maybe he's and never discount the bleeding obvious. What are you guys talking about? But look at this picture, you guys. This is Ryan Wesley, the second gentleman that tried to attempt in deleting Donald Trump back September the 15th in Palm Beach, Florida. This is his son. Okay? Do you see this? Do you see this? Look at this was his arrest. This is his mugshot. This is his mugshot. They arrested him 6 days after they arrested his dad. They arrested the son for child P images in North Carolina. And this man, he was released. This man, his son was released, okay? and he's currently in home confinement. Look at this face, you guys. Just, you know, I'm gonna just pray. I'm gonna pray that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and please stop putting out this type of energy. That the video that the clip that I just showed you, Joe Biden, when he did a press conference saying how dangerous it's going to be during the election. Like, I just need that to just stop. Like, let's stop, because do you see the type of people that are coming to Donald Trump, that are surrounding themselves to Donald Trump and trying to attempt to delete Donald Trump? Like, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help when you say things like this. This is what I'm going to show this one more time. This is what Joe Biden stated a week prior to the Milton hurricane about about Donald Trump.
I don't know whether it will be peaceful. The things that Trump has said and the things that he said last time out when he didn't like the outcome of the election were very dangerous. If you noticed, I noticed that the vice presidential Republican candidate did not say he'd accept the outcome of the election.
Now, this is not the only clip. Even with Kamala Harris, yes, Kamala Harris, she has said things that is, in my opinion, should not be coming out of a woman that is running for president. She said some things I feel I'm gonna be honest. This is not the time, because it's kind of ironic that right after we have these type of conversations, then we get another attempt at Donald Trump. We get another attempt at someone coming for Donald Trump. I'm trying to find it, but I'm gonna move. Well, this was the second attempt of Ryan Wesley, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley. He tried to attempt with Donald Trump September the 15th, and then 6 days later, they arrested his son, Ryan Routh, who's 35 years old. They arrested his son September the 21st for child P images in North Carolina. He has been released. If you see this guy, please go the other way. The last person was a gentleman that we all know. He tried to attempt to delete Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, and that was Ryan Routh. Okay, Ryan Routh. He was deleted by the Secret Service snipers after he actually injured Trump one of his ears, okay, in the attempt. So we have to we just have to kind of be very aware of, what's going on today and what we say and how we say things and how we move, Jim says, if Trump gets up, we'll really see what not accepting an election result will be like. Jill. I'm gonna say this. Based off of actual polls, and I wanted to discuss that. I think Kamala and Joe Biden, they're not helping themselves. They're not helping themselves in the sense that, because look at the polls. Look at the polls right now. It's very close. And Donald Trump is leading by 1%. So that means it can go either way. It can go either way. And also, the polls, I'm trying to see that I get that. And it's funny that you say that. That you say that, Jim, because as you can see right here with this particular poll, most people think Harris will accept the outcome of the election, but few think Donald Trump will. few think Donald Trump will. And I'm kind of disturbed at the fact how the Democrats are kind of trying to maneuver this, and even Tim Walz during the vice presidential debate not too long ago against JD Vance. He even questioned JD Vance. Did he feel that Donald Trump lose the last election? And Vance did not even want to answer. My whole thing at this particular point, it's not really helping. It's not helping voters feel safe. Does that make sense? It's not helping voters when you get attempts like this. When you get attempts that puts Donald Trump in a compromising position. Now, I will say this. I think this could go. Me personally, call me wrong, you guys. I think that this could make Donald Trump's campaign stronger. It can make his campaign stronger. Why? Because we know this, you guys. When it comes down to Donald Trump, he's not going to give up. He's not going to give up. I mean, a lot of people wanted him to step down. According to the polls, they wanted him to actually step aside because he has four cases against him because of the matter dealing with the Capitol January the 6th. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't want to get too much into it, but he has four cases. One of the cases in New York, he has already been quote unquote convicted of 34 felonies and found guilty. They just held off on the sentencing. The other three cases, one in Florida, other in Georgia, the other in Washington, D.C., those other three cases, they all have been postponed. Now, my feeling and views with that, I think they have postponed these three cases because what do we have? November the 5th. We actually have an election. We actually have an ongoing election. And I really feel they have put a pause on these cases against Donald Trump, because even when I looked at the polls, it stated, and I quote, the voters said it best. They do not feel comfortable voting for somebody for president if they are found guilty. So I think they put a pause. And that is some of the reason I think the Supreme Court, they stepped in. I know people not going to want to like hearing me saying this, but I think that's some of the reasons the Supreme Court stepped in and, kind of shook these other cases up. Even to the point with Florida, the judge who was presiding that case, she was elected because of Donald Trump when Donald Trump was actually president. So she's not going to go against Donald Trump. I mean, I'm just putting everything out there. And I think at this particular time, things is not being productive. It's not being conducive. Because things like this shouldn't continue to happen when Donald Trump has all of this going on. He has four cases against him. One he's already been found guilty in New York. Okay. Then he has case in Florida, case in Washington, D.C. He has all these cases. Then to top it all off, he got this in his lap. He's getting his third attempt and someone trying to delete him. I mean, that is a lot. That is a lot. So this is why I think at this particular time, Kamala Harris, she needs to either just step up and do her part as far as doing her campaigns for herself and leave Donald Trump's name out of this when it comes down to, oh, this is dangerous. He's going to be dangerous and talking about Republicans and saying Ron DeSantis in Florida, the governor of Florida, saying he's playing political games. This is not the time for all of that. This is not the time for all of that, because look what's going on. And I'm trying to be very careful with my words, because at this particular time, we don't need any more politicians and such as the Biden administration. We don't need anybody to play these type of games, because Eric Trump, Donald Trump said it best. His dad does not have any more cat lives. That came out of Eric Trump's mouth. His dad does not have any more cat lives. Okay? So that is what has happened this weekend in regards to Trump. I'm going to replay. Shout out to the Sheriff Chad Bianco, his team doing a phenomenal job in actually getting and arresting Vim Miller. I'm going to replay where he actually stated why they actually arrested him and why did they feel he was not safe to attend this rally.
His name. The name that we have, and I'm going to put an asterisk by it as I explain this later, but we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birthday is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate, and that prompted further investigation from our deputy into why the person was there. And
now, notice what he said, what prompted them. See, this is what I was saying, how you can sabotage yourself. And shout out to Jim. What did you say? Jim says, Gab, we're watching a movie and I've got my popcorn. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. Can you please hit that like button? We're having a great conversation about the third attempt with the former President Donald Trump this weekend. Yes, a third attempt. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, this particular gentleman we are talking about this particular guy named Vim Miller, 49 years old, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, with him, he came to the rally before they caught him. John says, wow, this dude Trump definitely has enemies in high places. Hello, Graham. Can't believe I got the news here first from you. I had to Google it. Hello, John. Hello, the other John. I think we had another John in here. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. Can you please hit that like button? And yes, John number 2, because we had another John. John here. Yes, this particular guy, Vim Miller, he is the guy that actually came to the rally in Coachella, South California this weekend. And based off what the Sheriff Chad Bianco had stated, what made them feel that this particular gentleman was a little out of place, I will say, because he came in a black SUV. A black SUV with no official license. And when they checked him, he had several fake passports in his vehicle. Also, he had a number of ammunitions on him. And one of the weapons had a serial number scratched off. Now, with Vim, this is going to shock you guys. Now, with saying all of that, this is really going to shock you guys. Hello, Child on Demand. Hello, you guys. Hit that like button. This is POLITIC GRAM. Yes, we're having a great conversation about the third attempt. The third attempt on the president. Yes, that happened this weekend. Now, like I stated, they did arrest Vim Miller for coming to this rally, spicy, saucy, dirty, however you want to say it. He came out of place, and based off of what the sheriff said, his vehicle was disarray. That's what the deputy said. So we're gonna play what was done after they arrested him, and this is going to shock you guys.
Eventually booked into jail on those charges, and eventually he was released. He will have to further his court case.
Do you hear that? He was released. He was released. I'm going to play that part one more time. I want you guys to think about that. John says the third attempt that we know about. Is that, oh, well, see, Jim, see, that's why I pinned what Jim said. Jim said, I'm all for Trump, but this has Republican fingerprints on it. So Jim thinks Republicans probably had something to do with this, you know, because I'm going to replay this part. After they arrested him and he was taken into custody, this is the outcome.
Was taken into custody. He was eventually booked into jail on those charges, and eventually he was released. He will have to further his court case in the future.
Now the guy that you're looking at, this is the Sheriff Chad Bianco, Sheriff of Riverside County in South California. I have to give them much applause. Congratulations. Thank you for actually finally doing something that the other attempts they did not do successfully. Because during this time when they arrested this gentleman right here we're talking about, make sure this gentleman right here, and this is fair use, YouTube fair use. This particular gentleman, Vim Miller, his response to this, when he went to the checkpoint, he told the deputies and he told the officers, he told him that he was going in, he tried to go in through the VIP area. And he was able to make it through the first part, but when he tried to go through the second part, the VIP area, and he met with the deputies, that's when they investigated more. John says, has everything to do with the elites, not Republicans. Oh boy. Jim says smoke and mirrors. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. I see you guys. Can you please hit that like button? We're having a conversation about the third attempt. Yes, the third attempt with the former president, Donald Trump, in South California this weekend. Yes. Again, can you believe it? Now, Vim, 49 years old, his argument was he was a journalist and he was going there to support Donald Trump. According to reports, he stated that he would never harm anybody. He stated that the arrest was BS. Those were his words, not mine. So I'm trying to give him a fair chance. I really am, because you know that old saying, you are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. He was released on a $5,000 bail bond, and he has to reappear in court. Let me make sure I want to be right, you guys. He has to reappear in court January the 2nd. This is according to online reports. He has to appear back in court January the 2nd, 2025. Now, with the Sheriff Chad Bianco, he says, they have forwarded information to the FBI. They are working hand in hand with the Secret Services. Jim says soon they'll have to take a number for an attempt. No, you did not. Jim, you don't. Let me pin this. This is not funny though. Let me stop. Jim, you're being bad today. You are being bad today, Jim. Jim, you being bad today, Jim. Jim says they'll have to take a number for an attempt. I'm going to pin that. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. We're talking about Donald Trump's third attempt by a gentleman named Vim Miller. He was arrested because he was riding spicy. He drove a black SUV with unregistered Who? Hello, Brad. He not gonna show to court. Brad says he not gonna show. Oh, you guys are really coming today this morning. You guys are really coming today this morning. I would say this is why I feel I don't know what it's like. To me personally, I think they are not protecting Donald Trump as strong, because it should not get to this. I mean, I don't know what they have to do. I really don't know. I don't know, because even voters, prior to all of these attempts, it was a poll going around, and they wanted Donald Trump to step aside because he quote unquote has 4 cases on him. They wanted him to step aside because they didn't feel comfortable with the president with someone trying to run for president again with cases on him. Brad, hello, Brad. Brad says he needs his own hired security. See, I don't know, because it's like what can you? There's only so much you can do. I mean, I'm just going to show you the last 2 attempts. All right. The last 2 attempts, okay? And I'm going to show you the people, okay, the guys, how they, it's not making sense. This is the second guy. This is Ryan here, right here. Ryan Wesley, 58 years old. He was arrested September the 15th. Why? Because he tried to delete Trump at his Palm Beach, Florida golf club. He tried. And then with Ryan Wesley, he was on the list. He was supposed to be watched out. That wasn't his first time. Kevin said, oh, hello, Kevin. Kevin says Trump for 2024. Hello, Kevin. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. He was actually, he tried, he was on the list. So, I mean, Brad, I hear what you're saying as far as Donald Trump needs to hire his own security, but then we gotta kind of have to take a step back and say, with Ryan Wesley, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley, he actually tried and he was on the FBI list. But prior to his attempt of deleting Donald Trump September the 15th. So why did they try more with him? Now, why do I say that? Why do I say that, Brad? Because 6 days after they arrested Ryan Wesley, they arrested this guy. They arrested this guy. From my report, this is his son. This is Ryan Wesley's son. He's 35 years old. His name is, let me make sure before I say that. He was arrested September the 21st for child P images in North Carolina. So this, I mean, you kind of have to take these things into, just really sit back and say, what is it? What's really going on? Because look at these people that's coming around Trump. I mean, he needs serious protection. Brad says that's why I think he needs private security. I don't trust some of the FBI and SS, but that's my opinion. You know what, Brad? I can't even argue with you. I cannot argue with you, because this is not making any sense. This is not making any sense at all. Because like I said, Ryan West, now I would be fair with Vim Miller. With him, for now, there have been no reports like he's been on any FBI list or anything like that. Like, he literally said that he's an artist. That's what he said. And then even when they questioned him at one of the checkpoints at Coachella rally in South California, he stated that he was a journalist. He was just trying to go through the VIP section. That's what he stated. Now, I don't know. But with Ryan Wesley, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley, he was actually on the FBI list prior to September the 15th. He was actually on the FBI list. He had, Brad says, they need to hold these people and invest. Exactly. They need to, yes. And last two had ties to BlackRock. See, when you say stuff like that's why what makes me kind of wonder what is going on with the Secret Service. What is going on with the FBI? What is going on with I'm going to be honest. What's going on with this administration? Because I just think it's kind of odd all this is going on during the Biden administration. I just think it's kind of odd. Now, Jim did say, and I quote, he did say he thinks, it could, the Republicans could have something to do with all this going on. He did state that. Now, me personally, I don't know. I just think it's kind of odd that this is continuing to go on, because this second attempt happened September 15th, and then the third attempt happened October the 14th. You guys don't think this is a coincidence? And then the first attempt was by a young guy named Ryan Routh. He actually injured Donald Trump. Jim, you says everything being on the up and up, Trump should rump it in, even in a parallel universe. But I've seen a duck win in a cockfight. You've seen a duck win. See, I'm really trying to actually see where do we go from here, because this is less than a few days. The election is November the 5th, and it seems like every month someone is trying to delete Donald Trump. It's getting out of hand. And I want to state this for all the new people that are coming in. Hello, Cha, if you're still there, Cha on demand. I want to make sure that I show this. I mean, I'm pointing fingers. Maybe I shouldn't be pointing fingers, but I'm pointing fingers at Biden and Harris, because they have said things that has not helped the matter. They have said things that have not helped, the matter. Like with these attempts, these constant attempts on Donald Trump's life. So I don't know. I mean, my whole point, take on all of this. Brad says blaming Republicans is just a deflection. Whoa. Okay, Brad, let me ask you this then. Who do you think? What you think is just they need to beef the security up, like Donald Trump, he needs to beef the security up on his end? What do you think would be a resolution? Because this personally has to stop. This has to actually stop, because like I said, the election is November the 5th. It's coming real soon. So, and let me make sure, because I'm looking up this guy. I want to make sure. I cannot believe this is Ryan Wesley's son, the second guy who tried to attempt. This is Ryan Wesley. Brad says he needs to hire people into security he personally knows and trusts. Well, that's one reason I don't trust politics like that. As far as, I'll say it this way, as far as running into politics, be it, you're running for president, district attorney, Senate, House of Representatives, Congress. I don't, because politics, it can be it's like you're rolling the dice. So who do you trust when you go into politics? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you trust? Because once you get into politics, my motto is trust nobody. Cover yourself at all times. You got to cover yourself at all times. And the only reason, hello, Spiral. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. We're talking about Donald Trump's third attempt to this weekend. So my personal opinion on this, I think the first step is we got to stop doing all this name calling. We got to stop doing all these phrases, putting all this energy out there. Thank you so much, Spyra. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button. and we're talking about Donald Trump, third attempt. Please hit that like button when you come in. You can have a conversation in the chat, just like I'm having a conversation with Brad, just like I'm having a conversation with Jim, Spiral, and Brad. Because we're having this conversation, I'm going to give you an actual black jacket. I'm going to give you an actual black jacket. Thanks for coming in. My whole thing is, at this point, I think we're going to have to stop all this little name calling, because Kamala Harris, I'm going to give her her roses, since she wants to be seen at the wrong time. She wants to be seen at the wrong time, because that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Even with her lack of that she's doing, Jim says, I just want Trump to get in and see if he can find the drain to the swamp this time around. Me personally, and this is one thing people kind of disagree with me about. I mean, some people feel that I'm picking sides when I'm talking about Kamala Harris, because I really feel even as she's running for president, she has had so many people have her back. I mean, even with former President Obama, he started his tour going around in Pennsylvania. He started it Thursday, and he made headlines. He made a lot of people upset. Specifically black men. Made a lot of black men upset, stating that we need he wants more black men to not only vote, but he wants black men to vote for Kamala Harris and not vote for Donald Trump, because the way the polls are looking, you guys, is looking like the black people, and I'm gonna put it out there. Hey. It's looking like the black men. I can't say the women, because Obama put it out there. It's looking like the black men are gonna get Donald Trump's vote, because according to, look at this face. Look at this face. He is begging for more black men to vote and vote for Kamala. Hello, Deaton. What did you say? Wait, another. Yes, Deaton. I was gonna talk about Obama, but I'm gonna go back. I'll bring it back. Because I was gonna move to the next topic. But yes, I'm gonna show it to you. Yes, a third attempt. Jim says Obama gaslighting black men was pressure. Okay, before we go back, Jim, you got me laughing. Deaton, yes, a third attempt on Donald Trump. Yes, they have attempted it again, allegedly. What I'm going to show you, shouts out to Sheriff Chad Bianco and Riverside County for handling the situation and the matter. Before Donald Trump even came to the Coachella rally. They actually arrested this gentleman, Vim Miller, 49 years old. Apparently, in his words, Vim Miller, after all of this, he stated that the arrest was BS. His words, not mine. The arrest was BS. And to top it all off, he said that he would never do anything to harm anybody. However, let's look at why Mr. Miller was arrested and was stopped at the checkpoint in Coachella, at the Coachella rally in South California. And then after that, we're gonna talk about Obama trying to say that black men are not voting, and it seems like black men, the black brothers are voting for Donald Trump. Okay, that's the energy that Obama had gave. But before that, we're gonna look at Sheriff Chad Bianco stating what happened in regards to Vim Miller. Let me go to it. And also, this is fair use YouTube. This is fair use. So this is the third attempt. And this is what Sheriff Chad Bianco said in regards to Vim Miller. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button. And yes, we're having a great conversation today in regards to the third attempt of Donald Trump. Hello, Chris. You says Trump 2024. Can you hit that like button if you're saying Trump 2024? If you're saying Kamala Harris 2024, we're talking about politics. So this is Chad Bianco discussing their arrest with the person allegedly attempting to delete Donald Trump, Vim Miller, 49-year-old Vim Miller from Las Vegas, Nevada.
His name. The name that we have, and I'm going to put an asterisk by it as I explain this later, but we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate, and that prompted further investigation from our deputy into why the person was there and what he was doing.
Now, notice what he said. He made it through the first one. He made it through the first checkpoint. But when he tried to go through to the VIP part, that's when the deputies, they did a further investigation. When they did the further investigation, that's when they noticed that he had a disarray car. Hello, you guys, for coming in. This is POLITIC GRAM. Thanks for coming in. This is POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button. We're having a conversation. Hello, Chris. Hello, you guys. Josh, you says fake attempt. Oh, you're saying what somebody else said. So Josh, you believe that the Republicans had something to do with this? You feel that the Republicans had something to do with these? You're calling antics? Well, I would say this. According to with the deputy, when they got him at the checkpoint, the second checkpoint, this particular gentleman, Vim Miller. Oh, you saying yeah? Oh. You said the same thing Jim said. When they met this gentleman at the second checkpoint, the deputies, and I also want to say, mind you, thank goodness Trump was not injured. Trump wasn't even at the rally. He hadn't even arrived to the rally yet. So they apprehended this man, arrested this man before Trump even got to the rally. So I have to commend the sheriff as well as the deputies in Riverside County of South California. I have to applaud them. With them, let's break it down how he came riding dirty, saucy. I'll say dirty and saucy. He came with a number of artillery. He came with loaded artillery. He came with several fake passports. I repeat, several fake passports on him in a black SUV that had no official license. It wasn't no official license on him. So we have to take all this into play. How he came, how he arrived. Patricia, hello, Patricia. Patricia, you said, I read that Obama was saying that black men were not going to be voting at all. If they don't vote for anyone, it's the same as not voting. Ooh, Patricia, you got me. Hello, Patricia. Woo, that was a lot to read. Jemiah said, I'm surprised he even went to California. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. Jeremiah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Patricia. Hello, Josh. Thank you, you guys. I apologize. I hit the mute button by mistake. Jeremiah, you says, I'm surprised he even went to California. And imagine there's a bunch more around there. Patricia, you made me mute this. I was like, you got me all excited when you said I read that Obama was saying that black men were not going to be voting at all if they don't vote for anyone. It's the same as not voting. Now, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in. Me personally, I think just like Josh said, he or she feels that this particular attempt was, and Jim said it too, that they feel that this third attempt against Donald Trump was just some antics done by the Republicans. I think with Obama saying that black men need to quote unquote vote, and that if you don't vote, like you're not vote, like it's, based off what you're saying the same thing, like if you don't vote for Kamala, she actually understands us. That's what he said. She understands us. She's been here, that she knows the struggle. So I don't think that was fair for him to say that, because the last I heard, and I was going to have a conversation about Miss Kamala Harris. But before I do that, because who said it? They were shocked that this was a third attempt on Donald Trump. I'm just going to play this part, because with Vim Miller, he was released. Yes, after the attempt, or supposedly the attempt, he was actually released, according to this press conference. I'm going to play it.
Eventually booked into jail on those charges, and eventually he was released. He will have to further his court case in the future. Right now, we are actively engaged in working with Secret Service and the FBI.
Now, I mean, the sheriff and the deputies of Riverside County in South California, they did their job. They did a phenomenal job. Now it goes back to what did he say? He said the Secret Service and FBI. It goes back to them at this point. Now, back to what Patricia had said in regards to let's talk about Obama. Yes. We gotta talk about Obama, because he made a lot of people very upset with him. Hello, you guys. This is POLITIC GRAM. We have already spoke about Donald Trump having a third attempt on his life. Yes, a third attempt. And it was supposedly done by a guy named Vim Miller, who was arrested this weekend, and he was released on a $5,000 bond. $5,000 bond. And he will have to appear back at court January 2nd of 2025. And according to Vim Miller, this gentleman right here, Vim Miller, according to him, he said that he's an artist. He was just going to the rally at the Coachella rally in South California to support Donald Trump. And he said, and I quote, "I would not harm anybody. This was BS." Those were his words. He's 49. He's a 49-year supposedly artist from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, I will say sometimes people can sabotage themselves because based off of the press conference that was held this weekend, Mr. Miller came to the rally with a number of ammunition, driving a vehicle with not an official with no license, with no proper license. I'll say it that way. He had a number of fake passports on him with several different names. So I don't know, you guys. You tell me. I don't know. Now, moving forward, we're going to actually, and I want to make sure I mention this. This is fair use, copyright under the Act of 1976 under Section 107. So the next topic we're going to talk about, back to you, Patricia. We're going to talk about Obama. Jeremiah says, what did Democrats get back? What did Democrats get back when Trump left office? Nothing. But he's going to take their democracy, their freedom. Let me reread that. Jeremiah said, what did Democrats get back when Trump left office? Nothing. But he's going to take their democracy, their freedom. What? Well, I'm going to say this. I don't like the way Obama is handling the situation. I don't like it. I don't like this particular move he's doing, because when he was here, he did the same thing that Joe Biden did. Trying to actually help save Kamala Harris by going on touring, going to different rallies, supporting Kamala Harris, begging for votes, begging people to vote. And at this particular point, this was on Thursday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just listen to how it started off. Listen to how it started off.
And just say I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities.
Wait a minute. See, I don't like that energy that he's giving. I don't like this energy that he's giving, because what community is Kamala Harris from? Let's talk about it. What community is Kamala Harris from? Because the last I heard, and I've done videos on this, ladies and gentlemen. I've done videos on this. She don't know what side to pick. 1 minute, even to this day, she has not respected her. I'm going to be careful with it because I don't want to get the backlash. But we all know people want to play this black card. People want to play this black card. People want to play this South Asian card. Okay? Because before Kamala Harris became vice president, when she was running for before she became that, when she was running for the Senate, she was running for Attorney General, she was saying South Asian. She's South Asian as the first South Asian. But then now, here is Obama. He is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He wants to try to play that black card and tell the black men that, well, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, You got to think about the women. You got to think about the women. They've had our backs. They've had our backs for years. And Kamala Harris, she represents the community. Josh says, cause she can. What do you mean, cause she can, Josh? What do you mean? What do you mean, cause she can? Because from my understanding, she has had nothing but other people speaking up for her. And she likes to hide and dodge. Just like what happened recently in Florida with Ron DeSantis. To this day, they have not spoken. And she even stated that Ron DeSantis is playing political games. Now, could that be true? Possibly. But you should not have Joe Biden, the president, going to your rallies, speaking up for you. You should not have, especially during this time, because I don't care what anybody says, Joe Biden is still technically the president. Joe Biden has bigger fish to fry. Joe Biden has to deal with the disasters dealing with the hurricanes with the states in the southeast here of the United States, especially what happened in North Carolina and Florida, Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia. Let's talk about it. But Kamala Harris, she had Joe Biden. Joe Biden overworked himself. Hello, Nathan. You say Trump 2024. Hit that like button. Josh, you says I can be, because South Asian does not run in my blood, but it doesn't hers. Now see, for me personally, I'm going to say this with Kamala Harris. Me, I don't like when they play these little black cards, these black and white cards. Jim, you says politic, 99.99% of channels wouldn't touch politics with a barge pole, and you go all in. Were you dropped as a child? No, I wasn't dropped as a child, but I feel that people have to talk about the uncomfortable, but you can talk about the uncomfortable respectfully. And I think that is why that's where we lack. We're lacking here in America. We need to have this conversation where we don't feel like we're being forced. We don't feel like we have to be forced to go a certain way, where we feel uncomfortable not to speak our truth. Because at this particular point, that's why one of the reasons I feel Donald Trump is being continuously attempted with his life, because people are holding things in, and then they're listening to people like, I'm going to say it, Barack Obama. Even with this conversation, he's stating that, basically, to all the black brothers, to all the black men, you gotta vote for Kamala Harris if you're black. Because if you vote for Donald Trump, he doesn't represent us. He doesn't represent the black brothers and the black women. He doesn't represent us. He don't know our struggles. And I'm sitting back like, what does Kamala Harris know? How she know our struggles? This is a woman that doesn't even want to say if she's quote unquote supposedly what her race is. Now I'm going to be respectful about her race. I'm going to be respectful. Okay, I'm going to let you guys figure that out, that portion, because I have clips where 1 minute she says she's South Asian, the next minute she wants to say that she washed collard greens in the tub, and then try to quote unquote say this around, a certain race, a certain color, like she's really about that community. And I'm sitting back like, at the end of the day, I don't care. I want to know where you stand on these issues, where you stand on the economy, where you stand on this inflation. That's what I want to know. And as for Barack Obama, I'm very disappointed in him, because he's putting people in a compromising position. He's putting people in a very bad, sticky situation. I'm going to replay this part with what he said. It was very I don't know. It was not becoming of him. I didn't expect to see this side of him.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all parts of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Now, he said when he was running, how many presidents have we had since he done left office? Things have changed since he was running. I mean, he's talking about since he was running. That is irrelevant right now. That is purely irrelevant right now when he was running. I'm going to play another clip. Because we're going to really have a breakdown of Kamala Harris. And I'm really erratic right now. But I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying to be respectful too, to both sides. Because I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be a pro-Trump. I'm trying to be one way. Because I don't want anybody to call, I'm trying to be non-biased. But I have to call a spade a spade. I have to. This is just ridiculous. I'm going to fast forward. Josh says exactly. She will not comment to this old playbook. Instead, she speaks to the policies she will uphold. Kamala, wait a minute. I'm not repeating this comment because of your name, whoever you are. I'm not going to state this name, but you say you're pro-Trump. Jim says Kamala goes beyond transgender. She's morphed to transnational. See, this is why I don't understand. That's why I say I don't like. See, the other person. I'm not gonna say your name. I'm just gonna say kids because I'm not finna. No, I am not. I am not finna say your name. No, I'm not. You're not finna get me to say your name. But I will say this: with Donald Trump, he could have taken it there more than a number of ways. And I apologize. I'm trying to actually upload my key points in regards to this clip with Barack Obama. With Donald Trump, he could have took it there on a whole different level, but he didn't. But it's kind of odd that it's okay for Obama, Kamala Harris, Biden administration, the Democrats. It's kind of weird. They can play this little black card. They can play this card. But when Donald Trump questions Kamala Harris, then they want to call him names. Right? But it's like, let's leave that out. Let's not do this. And see, in this particular conference that Obama had on last Thursday, he questioned the black men. He said that the black men, they need to vote. And they need to vote Kamala Harris' way. They need to vote her way. Because if they don't vote her way, she speaks to the community. She speaks to the people. Jim says he is looking distinguished. I'll get it. You know what, Jim? I would say this. You know what? Obama has you have never caught Obama slipping on the way he dresses. You have never caught him slipping. But I will say he was slipping with this speech. Well, let me try to do it. I'm trying to get it now. Hold on, you guys. Hold on.
Is committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help. And cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking,
see, I'm trying to see what communities he's talking about, but I'm gonna continue. I'm going to allow Obama to spin this for himself, and we're going to talk about these two key people right here that contradicts what Obama is talking about, what he spoke about Thursday in Pennsylvania at a Kamala Harris rally. These two people right here, these two people contradicts what Obama is saying or what he said Thursday. But I'm going to let him cook.
But, you know, because of Putin, and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Wait a minute. Before I respond to this mess that Obama is speaking, that he spoke on Thursday, let me go into the chat. Jim, hello, Lucky. You said Trump. I hope you hit that like button since you're trying to come in here and say Trump. Okay. Hello, you guys. It's POLITIC GRAM. Please, we're discussing Donald Trump's third attempt this weekend. And now we're having the conversation about Obama making a lot of black men very upset with him because he's calling out black men, saying that black men basically need to vote for Kamala Harris. Supposedly, if they don't vote for Kamala Harris, then they're not speaking to the blacks because Kamala Harris, she speaks to the black community. That's the energy that Obama gave. But these two people right here, we're gonna talk about them. John says, didn't Obama tell us recently in a nice way, if you don't vote Kamala, you ain't black? Yes. Thank you, John. Let me make sure let me pin this. Yes. Jim says, well, he was instrumental in installing Kamala, so not surprised. His credibility is on the line as much as Kamala's. Jim also says playing this card on black men is a new low. Playing the misogyny card on black men is a new low. See, this is why I don't like this wave. Yes, he's singling a specific race out. And to me, I'm going to be honest, that's not becoming of the old Barack Obama that I remember. I thought that Barack Obama was about unity. I thought that the Democrats, according to Tim Walz, who is the nominated vice president for Kamala Harris, I thought that the Democrats were about unity, that everybody's supposed to be working together. But with this particular speech that Obama is giving, no. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Does anybody know this gentleman right here? Who this gentleman is? Does anybody know who he is? If you know him in the comments, I will pin it. Because he contradicts what Obama said. This particular gentleman right here. John says he was prosecuted by Kamala Harris. You are absolutely correct. This is Jamal Trulove. Dang it. I'm trying to get my thing to work, get it to work. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this particular gentleman is named Jamal Trulove. He was falsely sentenced back in 2000. Let me get it together. Let me get my facts together. He was falsely prosecuted, falsely arrested. I'm going to go down to my notes. Yes. October 2008, he was arrested. He was arrested in fatally deleting his friend named C.O. Kuka. I repeat, C.O. Kuka, near a public housing project in, guess what? San Francisco. Now, see, during this time, this was the time Kamala Harris, she was district attorney. She was district attorney. Now, I want to say this. People want to say, supposedly, that, well, it wasn't Kamala Harris. It was somebody in her office. But Kamala Harris, she could have stopped this at any time. But she moved forward with this case. She moved forward with this case because it was pushed by this lady named Linda Allen. She was the prosecutor in this case of Jamal Trulove in 2008. 2008. Now, with Linda Allen, a lot of people blamed. First, they had blamed Kamala Harris. Now, I would say Kamala Harris has a lot to do with this because it did happen in her office. Because this was during the time she was district attorney. Now, I'm going to play a clip where Jamal Trulove explains just a little clip of what happened and also explains. Now, John, you says he gained a little weight. He was in the movie The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Great man, great film. Exactly. So this particular gentleman, Jamal Trulove, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play the guy that John in the chat is speaking about.
For the murder of my friend C.O. Kuka. Well, actually, in 2008, let me reframe that. I was arrested for the murder of my friend C.O. Kuka. The murder actually happened in 2007, and I was ultimately wrongfully convicted for his murder and framed by the San Francisco Police Department in the offices of Kamala Harris for the murder of my friend.
Now, in the office of Kamala Harris, notice what he said. The office of Kamala Harris. Now, I'm going to play another clip by this very well-spoken man that was falsely prosecuted by Kamala Harris prosecutor that worked under her, Linda Allen.
And, her office. And it's right before, the Attorney General election. So she's celebrating me losing, being, framed for murder. And that's for people to understand this. I am literally traumatized by this woman. And, her office. And it's right before, the Attorney General election. So she's celebrating me losing, being, framed from.
Now, shout out to the Art of Diaolgue. This was from an interview that clip was from an interview that Jamal Trulove did with a great YouTuber named the Art of Diaolgue. Basically, with Jamal Trulove, what did you say, John? I would be super upset if I was him. I feel his pain. Well, I mean, that's what really gets me with Obama. Because remember what I said, he stated on Thursday that he wants the black men to vote for Kamala Harris. Because, and I quote, he says that she speaks to the community of blacks. She speaks to the black community. She speaks. But I just showed you this guy, Jamal Trulove. What did he say?
For the murder of my friend Sel Kuka. Well, actually, in 2008, let me reframe that. I was arrested for the murder of my friend Sel Kuka. The murder actually happened in 2007, and I was ultimately wrongfully convicted for his murder and framed by the San Francisco Police Department in the offices of Kamala Harris. For the murder of
Now, I'm going to play one more clip before I go back to the chat.
I want to see her for the next 4. Who I'm voting for, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Now I'm going to the chat. John says Obama used... Hello, Sprinkle. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Please, this is Sprinkle. Sprinkle, I'm going to give you the jacket. Please go follow her. Check her out. She's also a phenomenal, great youth content creator on YouTube. Did I give you the jacket, Sprinkle? John, you said, you're welcome, Sprinkle. John, you said Obama used to have rhetoric of vote for what you believe in. Exactly. But see, I don't know what's going on with Obama because I'm trying to see what community he's speaking of. What community he's speaking of, because with what happened to Jamal,
or the murder of...
with what happened to Jamal Trulove, I'm gonna break it down. He was arrested October 2008 for fatally deleting his friend. Falsely arrested because he was falsely accused by Kamala Harris when she was district attorney, her office, by this lady who worked under Kamala Harris. Her name, she was the prosecutor of this case, Linda Allen, in San Francisco. And yes, you're absolutely, and that's why I'm just saying at this particular time, I'm multitasking, you guys. Now, I'm going to break it down with Jamal Trulove, and I want people to kind of really sit back and think about what community does Kamala Harris represent? Will she actually do the things that she says she would do? Let's break down Jamal Trulove, who was falsely arrested, wrongfully sentenced, and if you can see these are my notes. His friend was deleted July the 23rd of 2007. Now, Jamal Trulove, he is an actor. During this time, he was on VH1. He was a contestant on VH1, VH1 show series. But his friend was deleted July the 23rd of 2007. Now let's fast forward. Sprinkle, yes, make sure you all like the video as you come in. Please don't forget to subscribe. Exactly. Thank you so much. Now let's move forward. February the 10th, 2010. After he was arrested in the year 2008, he had been convicted. Now, Jamal Trulove, this is a man that has children. Kamala Harris took this man from his children. Kamala Harris took this man from his life. Kamala Harris, she could have stopped this at any time. She could have stopped it. But she moved forward with this case. She allowed Linda Allen to go forward with this case. So much to the point, in the year of 2010, February the 10th, Jamal Trulove gets sentenced 50 years. 50 years, ladies and gentlemen. So what community is Obama talking about that Kamala Harris helps, that Kamala Harris will look out for? Because with Jamal Trulove, in the year of 2010, she took his life away. She took a 29-year-old man who was a father, who he had a mother, he had family. He was going into the entertainment world. He was getting out of that life. He was becoming a better man for himself. 2010, Kamala Harris made sure that he ended up getting sentenced 50 years for a false witness statement. Who was the false witness statement from? It was from a lady named Priscilla. I'm not going to even say her last name. You read it. You read it and tell me what her last name is. This lady, I'm going to talk about Priscilla. It was quote unquote 25 people that saw Jamal Trulove's friend get deleted, supposedly. But out of the 25 people, this lady Priscilla, she's the only one. She's the only one to write a witness statement and so-called make it seem like she was going to testify against Jamal. But what people didn't fail to realize, the only reason she tried to move forward was because the district attorney office with the team put her into protection. They put her into a witness protection program. And according to Jamal Trulove himself, he said they gave her $10,000. They gave her $10,000, put her in a witness protection program, and all they wanted her to do is testify against him. Now, how did Jamal Trulove get out of this, ladies and gentlemen? And the guy that we're talking about is this gentleman right here. And this is the prosecutor, Linda Allen, that was working for Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris was the district attorney in San Francisco. Now we can take it. I'll go further on later on at another time about Kamala Harris when she was in San Francisco, how she worked her way up through the godfather of the politics in San Francisco, Willie Brown. We're gonna leave Willie Brown alone today, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna leave him alone. We're gonna focus on this gentleman right here. We're gonna focus on, hello PJ. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to POLITIC GRAM channel. Please hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Jamal Trulove in response to Obama making a lot of black men mad, because Jamal Trulove is one of the black men that ended up in prison. That ended up not only in prison, but he was in prison off of a false witness statement by a lady named Priscilla. And also because of this prosecutor named Linda Allen. Now, how did Jamal get out? Jamal Trulove got out because he actually had a DNA test, and it took a while because Jamal Trulove was actually in prison for some time. He actually had to have DNA tests that Kamala Harris' office at first refused to admit into evidence. This is the person that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, that's running for president. This is the person that we're talking about. Now, with Jamal Trulove, thank goodness, he had a strong attorney, a set of attorneys. One of the attorneys worked under O.J. Simpson, okay? He actually represented, he was part of the O.J. Simpson team. Just kind of giving you a bit of light of just how serious this man's life was, just how serious this case was. And it was serious because during this time, Kamala Harris, she was trying to run for Attorney General. I think it was either Attorney General or Senate. It was one of them. I want to say it was either Attorney General or Senate. It was one of them she was trying to run for in the office. So she really had to push to get Jamal Trulove, the trial to go get finished and for him to get sentenced. And his life out was sacrificed because he was sentenced 50 years off of a false witness statement from a lady named Priscilla. Jim says, good night, Politic. Betty time, 11 p.m. Try and keep the blood pressure down tonight. I will. You be safe, and thank you for coming in, Jim. Yes, like I said, with Jamal Trulove, he actually had to get his team. And long story short, I'll do another video about Trulove, Jamal Trulove. He actually ended up having a team get him out. This lady Priscilla, she got scared. She changed her words later on, and they was able to admit a DNA test to confirm that Jamal Trulove was not the one that deleted his friend. And because of that, they released Jamal Trulove. But it gets better because of the negligence. I'm going to say the negligence. Linda Allen, she says that too. She says they didn't do anything wrong. She says that. Kamala Harris hasn't spoken about this herself, but they must have did something wrong because fast forward, Jamal Trulove was awarded $13 million for what happened to him. And he put in a civil lawsuit. He sued San Francisco, and he won $13 million in a lawsuit. So something must have happened. Somebody went wrong somewhere. But that's why I said, what in the world is Obama talking about when he says that the black men need to vote for Kamala Harris? Because she represents the black community. Jim says, salute at Joss. Can't be any fairer than that. So, yes, and that's why I'm just, hello, Dan. How you doing? You say Auntie Ruckus. What are you talking about, Auntie Ruckus? Well, in the words of Obama is giving Uncle Ruckus. He's giving Uncle Ruckus because I'm trying to see what community Kamala Harris represents. Because like I stated, we were talking about this man, Jamal Trulove. His life was affected. To this day, he's traumatized. He's traumatized because he was falsely sentenced. He was falsely accused, falsely convicted, and sentenced for deleting his friend. And he was sentenced 50 years. And he later got out, but you cannot go back in time and replace time itself. This man is a father. This man has children. He was away. So he ended up getting $13 million from San Francisco due to the actions of Kamala Harris' office when she was district attorney. She ended up getting that. But see, I want people to kind of think about that. If Kamala Harris caused San Francisco allegedly to lose $13 million in that civil lawsuit, Dan says Trump likes to use slurs, but you read at comma. Well, see, my thing is, what is Obama doing? What did Obama do? Obama's trying to play that same card. He's trying to play the same card. He's basically telling black men, you're not a brother if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, because Donald Trump is, in his words, I'm going to be very careful when I say this, but these are his words. Donald Trump does not represent the quote-unquote community. But if you look at Kamala Harris and her background, what community does she represent? So we can play that. And I also want people to be very careful when we play these type of games. Because look what happened. Look at what happened. Donald Trump's life has been attempted 3 times. Allegedly. 3 times, because this weekend, this man, Vim Miller, was arrested at a Coachella rally in South California. So, and that was this weekend. Then last month, September the 15th, we had 58-year-old Ryan Wesley attempt at deleting Donald Trump outside of his golf club. Then before that, we had a young man named Ryan Routh who tried to delete Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. What are the odds? So I'm just going to be honest. At this particular point, we have to actually think about things such as this. Now, I'm going to end it on that note. Oh, one more thing before I go. I want to give an absolute shout out to Sprinkle. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, please follow Little Sprinkle. As well, I want to give a shout out to the people that came into this chat. Input, Dan, especially Jim. Jim, thank you for coming in. John, I love you too, John. I love you too. Also, I want to give a shout out to Lucky. I'm not gonna read the kids now. I'm not gonna read your name. You're not gonna get my channel in trouble. Joss, I want to give you a shout out. Lucky77. Jeremiah, a shout out. Deaton, a shout out. Chris, a shout out. Patricia, a shout out. Thank you so much, Spiral, for coming in. Deaton from coming in. Thank you so much. Brad Hart for coming in, as well as Kevin for coming in. I want to make sure. Cha on Demand, thank you for coming in. The other John for coming in. Big Man for coming in. Stacy for coming in. I appreciate you guys for coming into this live. Thank you so much. Now, I want to talk about my last topic of this live, when I spoke about how sometimes we can sabotage each other. I think that's what the politicians are doing right now. John says, I'm going to enter Janice live now. Thank you for the news. Thank you, John. Thank you. And tell Janice I'm coming over there. I'm coming over there soon. I want to actually have a topic about sabotage, how people tend to sabotage themselves. They can tend to sabotage themselves. Okay, we're not finna do this today, whoever you are. I'm not finna do this with you today, sir, or whomever you are. I'm not doing this with you today. I'm not doing this with you today, Dan. I'm not doing this with you today, Dan. Please come back with some respect in this channel. Please have a beautiful day. This is POLITIC GRAM channel. This is POLITIC GRAM channel, where we open for anybody with any party. You can be with the Republicans, Democrats, Liberal, Independent. This is a channel for all parties, for all cultures, for all races, all genders. This is for everybody. So please be respectful, Dan. And I hope to see you tomorrow with some more respect for the people in this chat and for the people on this channel. Thank you. Like I said, the last conversation that I was going to have today, I want to talk about how sometimes these politicians, such as Obama, such as Kamala Harris, such as Joe Biden, and even Donald Trump himself, as well as J.D. Vance and Republicans, they can tend to sabotage themselves by how they actually put things out there without doing their research, or just thinking of just speaking without thinking. And even with Joe Biden, I showed you a video where he said that he spoke about how dangerous Donald Trump is. I mean, you have to be very careful when you say words like that, because look what has happened. Donald Trump has had 3 attempts of his life. 3 attempts. And you have to be very careful when you have these conversations, when you do press conferences. And then even in Obama's case, he spoke about how black men are not black if they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Basically, I'm just giving the gist of it, okay? That's just the breakdown of it. Also, I say that because I'm not sure as far as November the 5th will become if this rhetoric keeps continuing when it comes down to not focusing on the current policies and the issues Americans want to focus on. Americans want to actually focus on issues. As you can see this for yourself. Look at the poll. It's very close. According to this poll, it's 48% lead. Donald Trump is leading by 1%. And then also, with this particular poll, people are leaning towards Donald Trump when it comes down to performing better, when it comes down to the conversation of the issues of economy and inflation, more so than Kamala Harris. And I say all of this to say we have to be very careful how we conduct ourselves, how we carry ourselves. And John, you see me? Thank you, John. We have to be very careful how we conduct ourselves. We have to be very careful how we speak, how we deal with things. Because if you don't, it's gonna get not. It's not going to get any better productive. And I want to say that because at the end of the day, I want you guys to actually know you have a vote. And hello, Double Roses. Hello, thank you so much. And Double Roses, thank you for coming in. I'm going to give you an actual jacket, if I can do it. Yes. We got to be able to actually have, some type of, just some peace of mind. Some peace of mind. And you're not going to have a peace of mind if you continue to listen to this rhetoric. And this rhetoric in the sense of all of everything except the issues. And the issues are, what is Kamala Harris? Or what has Kamala Harris done? What has the Biden administration done since they've been in office on the economy? What have they done with inflation? What have they done with border security? Why hasn't the Biden administration been able to deal with the matter of the border security since they've been in office? These are things we have to focus on and talk about. Why? Because people's lives are at hand and at risk. And when I say lives, exactly, Double Roses, they've done nothing. Little Sprinkle says, hello, Double Roses. And Double Roses says, they've done nothing. And see, these are the things that Kamala Harris needs to focus on. These are the things that Obama I'm gonna make sure I show his face. These are the things that Obama needs to focus on. Because I don't like this type of game people play with saying, well, if you don't vote Kamala, you're not black. If you don't vote Kamala, you're not South Asian. If you don't vote for Kamala, you're not a woman. I don't like that. Because those are not the issues. Those are not the issues. And it's not a safe space, and it's not a safe place to continue to do press conferences. And I'm going to show Joe Biden the press conference he gave before the Milton hurricane. The press conference he had given. I'm gonna pull it up. We have to actually take this into consideration. But before I do that, I want to show this what Kamala Harris stated in regards to Ron DeSantis, because she was upset that Ron DeSantis did not speak to her or far as have a phone conversation with her before the Milton hurricane came in last week.
Stressing up to all the folks in Florida, in the Tampa area, please listen to evacuation orders. Please listen to your local officials.
Now this is all at the same time. She's telling everybody, please listen to the governor, listen to your local officials. But how is it she says that, and then right after that, when they ask her a question about Ron DeSantis not, wanting to talk to her, or supposedly, allegedly, because Ron DeSantis said, he's been avoiding it. He says, I'm not playing these type of games. I'm focusing on my state and recovering my state. I'm focusing on getting the dealing with the resources needed for my state. He's not getting into that. But here goes Kamala Harris.
Is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available, in particular to the survivors of Helene. And first of all, it's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation.
Now, I will say with Kamala Harris, she's trying to play this, talk about Donald Trump. She used Donald Trump even when the hurricane was going on, how Donald Trump was giving misinformation, false information. But people actually have to take a step back and think about this. This is during a time, I'm sorry, you guys. This is during a time Kamala Harris should have been focused on the hurricane, the victims, the families in the southeast area of the United States, especially in Florida. But she's so focused on Donald Trump giving out this misinformation. She's so focused on, this unnecessary mess. And then even with Ron DeSantis, you guys, has not spoken to Kamala Harris, allegedly. Has not spoken to her. He's only spoken to whom? Joe Biden. And even then with Joe Biden, it took a while, because it's like they had to, I guess, deal with their differences. But Joe Biden, it seems like Joe Biden is acting as if he's running for president again. Because when it comes down to what's going on with all this rhetoric, as they say, it goes back to, like I said, sometimes you can sabotage yourself. And in Kamala Harris' case, she's having all these men and all these politicians, such as former President Barack Obama, go to these various rallies and trying to speak to the black people, I guess. I don't know who he's speaking to, because he says our community. And I'm trying to figure out what community he's talking about. Then you have Kamala Harris herself. She's hopping off a jet plane talking about Donald Trump giving false information, and then the press and then the White House were coming at Ron DeSantis before the Hurricane Milton on why he hasn't spoken to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And then Joe Biden just waves the flag and does another press conference trying to say how Donald Trump is dangerous. And then after that, somehow Joe Biden comes back around. Joe Biden comes back around and says he's finally spoken to Ron DeSantis. And he's on the same page with all the governors in the Southeast who's been affected by the hurricane. Okay. But he did all of this, and Kamala Harris still hasn't done anything as far as being more vocal. Because I feel like she needs to be the one speaking up. She needs to be the one doing all of this. Because at the end of the day, who's running for president? Who's trying to get into the president office? It's Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It is not, I repeat, it is not Joe Biden. Joe Biden stepped down. So it just seems as if we need to get focused on what's really going on. And I want people to actually think about this. Think about it. Is Kamala Harris actually speaking for, in the words of Obama, to the community? Is she speaking to the community? Is she really speaking? And hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. This is I Am POLITIC GRAM. Please hit that like button for coming in. I've already spoken about, yes, for the third time, Donald Trump has been attempted again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, and in another attempt. After being attempted last month. This is ridiculous. Now I'm talking about Obama and these politicians, various politicians, because I'm not just going to say Democrats. Republicans have sabotaged themselves as well, because you have a lot of these politicians. Hello, Victor. Obama looks older than me. I'm in my Victor, you are not right. Victor says Obama and Harris are in biddy videos. I mean, it's Victor. I don't know. It's like I think Obama. If Obama was not gonna do any better than this, he needs to just relax. He needs to just relax. And when I say relax, relax out of this mess that Kamala Harris has put herself in, that the Biden administration has put itself in, that Donald Trump has indirectly put himself in. You know, I think Trump needs to relax. Seriously. Because he doesn't need this stress. We've had 2 people be president after him. Okay, he needs to, it's been 8 years. Hello, Colin. It appears Obama is doing well and is very welcome. What? What? Colin, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. What? What? How is Obama doing so well? And this happened then. If Obama's doing so well, how is it Donald Trump gets attempted again for the 3rd time this weekend? If Obama's doing so well, because I thought Obama spoke about unity. He spoke about peace. This is not peace. Peace is not saying this Thursday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is not peace.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
John, what did you say? You said you told Janice. Now, I'm sorry, you guys. Now, Obama, I don't know what Obama has going on. John, I'm gonna talk to Janice. No, I did not mean. You said I told Janice you were coming to visit her, and she thought I meant you were coming to the Philippines. Colin says Trump is doing well. Also, there is a movie out about him. Colin, are you trolling us today? Colin is trolling us today. John, Colin, you are trolling us today. Like I stated, with Obama, hello, Earl. Earl says, are blaming Obama for what's happening to Trump. Me? I'm not blaming Obama for what happened to Trump. But all I'm saying, Earl, it's not helping. It doesn't help to speak negative energy. That's with anything in life. That's with anything in life. You don't speak about somebody, it's going to be dangerous. You don't speak about, well, if you don't do this, you're not one of us. That's a dangerous line to ride. You don't speak on things like that. You don't. And in Obama's case, he had a so-called little conference at Kamala Harris rally in Pennsylvania on Thursday of last week, October the 10th. He's stating to the black men, they need to go vote because of the polls, according to his understanding, that the black men is looking like the black men want to vote for Donald Trump. So you tell me, is that how you carry yourself as a former president? Is that how you conduct yourself? You tell a certain gender and a certain race that they're not that gender, that they're not that race if they don't vote for Kamala Harris? Is that how you conduct yourself? Is that how you do it? You tell me. I don't think so. Now, I will say this. Colin says, okay, I'm being educated. Thanks. So you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Colin. Now, I would say at this particular time, people can sabotage themselves. And I was going to play this video, this clip of even with Joe Biden. John says, that's childish behavior. Obama is off his rocker on that one. Obama is off his rocker because the last time he's been in office, in any office, was 8 years ago. And at this point, I think he needs to relax. Him and his wife, they've bought a multi-million-dollar home recently. They need to relax. Enjoy this life. This thing called life. Because you only get it once. So I would not be stressing over Kamala Harris if I was Obama. I wouldn't. Because Kamala Harris, time and time again, has showed how she feels about, quote unquote, the community, in his words. Why? Because this gentleman right here, Jamal Trulove, he was falsely sentenced, falsely convicted, falsely prosecuted by a prosecutor under Kamala Harris in San Francisco when she was district attorney. By a lady named Linda Allen, who worked under Kamala Harris. Now, this particular gentleman, Jamal Trulove, he was sentenced 50 years. Thank God. Thank God he had an outstanding set of attorneys that was able to get him out of prison. That was able to get him back his life. He went in at 29 years old. And he was sentenced 50 years. Thank God he had an outstanding attorney team that caused him to rightfully do a civil lawsuit against San Francisco, where he won $13 million due to the actions of the district attorney office that was then ran by Kamala Harris. This was in 2008. Come on, like let's think about it. Let's really think about about this, ladies and gentlemen. And Obama is speaking about a community. Whose community he's speaking on? Whose community he's speaking on? And even with, I want to make sure I want to make sure I show this. I'm trying to find, even with Joe Biden's video. He said how it's dangerous. He want to put that out there. It's dangerous. He's scared about the election November the 5th. But I want you guys to vote. Don't allow this rhetoric and these individuals to cause you to sabotage yourself and not vote. Because guess what, you guys? I don't know about where you live, but I know where I live. Other than voting for president, I have other entities I have to vote for in my county, in my city, on the local chapter. So if you don't vote for a president, vote. Just go and vote. Vote for whoever is in your chapter. But just know, if you don't vote, if you just stay home out of fear because of what these politicians are saying, John says, yes, he was prosecuted by, I had pinned it, I'm sorry. But like I stated, you have to vote. And voting is November the 5th. November the 5th. And I want to say it's another channel that I want you guys to check out. Her name is, this is her name. It is That Green Vegan. She speaks about sometimes you can actually sabotage yourself. You can actually sabotage yourself. You can actually sabotage yourself when it comes down to growth. And I say that because even with this election, you can get to that point. You can actually sabotage. You can actually sabotage yourself with the growth of getting a president, a new president, having some freedom from what we're going through right now with this Biden administration. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if it's Kamala Harris president or Donald Trump, guess what? Somebody's going to have to step up. So I'm going to end it on that note. Thank you so much, Colin, for coming in. Thank you so much, Earl, for coming in. Thank you so much for John coming in, Sprinkle. And I wish you guys peace and always have a peace of mind. This is POLITIC GRAM. Thanks for coming in. Bye.